Book title, Message of Hope. In a small town, far, far away, there lived a kind-hearted widow named Judith. She was known throughout the village for her unwavering faith and willingness to help others. Despite facing countless challenges, Judith found solace in the words of the scriptures, especially Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. One day, Judith woke up feeling troubled. The small town community had been hit by a terrible drought, and despair began to cast a shadow upon them. With heavy hearts, the people sought guidance from Judith, for they had witnessed her strength and resilience for many years. Seeing their anguish, Judith turned to the comforting words of Jeremiah 29:12. Then you will call on me and come and pray to me, and I will listen to you. Judith gathered the residents of the town square where she encouraged them to pray together for rain and restoration. And with hope in their eyes, the town folks formed a circle, and Judith led them in a heartfelt prayer. She prayed for strength. She prayed for faith. And most importantly, she prayed for rain to revive their dying crops. Days turned into weeks, and the drought showed no signs of lifting. Doubts began to creep into the minds of the people, but Judith remained unwavering in her belief that their prayers would be answered. One evening, as Judith gazed up at the star-filled sky, she felt a deep sense of calmness wash over her. The twinkling stars seemed to whisper a soothing melody to her weary heart, and she couldn't help but feel a connection to something greater than herself. Suddenly, a gentle whisper filled the air, carrying the reassurance that their prayers had been heard. And in that very moment, Judith knew she had to convey this message to all the residents in the community. For even though the evidence was not yet there, inside Judith's spirit, through the quiet whisper and calmness, it was clear. The following day, Judith gathered the townspeople in the cozy little church at the center of town. Her face radiated and her eyes gleamed with hope and excitement as she stood at the pulpit, ready to share the message that had touched her soul that night. With a voice filled with conviction, she shared the message she had received. The Lord says in Jeremiah 29:13, "You will seek me and find me, and when you seek me with all your heart, I will be found by you, declares the Lord." Dear friends, Judith began, her voice filled with a gentle warmth. Last night, as I looked up at the starry sky in the stillness and quietness of the night, I received this message, our message of hope. We may not yet see it, but our prayers have been heard. Our lives are about to change, for something extraordinary is about to happen. Our God, our Adonai, is faithful and full in his promises and has indeed heard our prayers. The congregation and its residents of the town listened intently, their spirits lifted by Judith's words. Some were skeptical, yet others clung to the hope that their suffering would soon come to an end and left rejoicing with gladness in their hearts. As the days went by, a transformation began to take place within the village. Inspired by Judith's unwavering faith, the people began to seek solace in prayer, finding comfort and strength despite their hardships. Then, one fate-filled day, dark clouds rolled in, covering the sky. The sounds of thunder rumbled through the town and all its land, and drops of rain gently kissed the parched earth. The residents of the community rushed out of their homes, feeling the long-awaited droplets against their skin. It was a moment of pure joy and gratitude. The fields, once filled with despair, now blossomed with life, and the drought that had plagued them for so long was finally over. With tears of thankfulness streaming down their faces, the villagers looked to God, their Adonai, our Adonai, with their whole hearts filled with praise and thanksgiving. Through their unwavering faith and dependence on the Lord and by his word, they were brought out of the depths of despair and elevated into a place of hope and blessings. As the years went by, the message of hope in the book of Jeremiah spread far and wide. The small town thrived, and its residents faced their future with renewed faith and strength. The unwavering belief in the promises of the Lord had not only saved their small town from dying by the drought, but it had also inspired countless others through its witness to find solace and hope in their own lives, even to the stranger just passing through. Reminding all who heard of the story of the town's impending drought that through the words of the prophet Jeremiah, that even in the darkest of times, there is always hope when we put our whole trust in the Lord. The end. A short story written by Jules Mahalo. That's me, dedicated to the uplifting words of the prophet Jeremiah in chapter 29, and to my amazing online book family, all for the glory of one Father. December 2nd, 2023.